I'm always a big fan about global changes, strategic partnerships. And this one is coming from United Kingdom. Nvidia is going to invest 2 astonishing billion pounds into the AI investment as AI investment into the United Kingdom. So what do you think about this, Dumitru?
Hello to everyone. Nice to see you again. Well, it was a very productive week, and the news from Nvidia with 2 billion pounds investing in AI ecosystem, like baking startups, including even Revolut. It's in interesting news. It confirmed that the trend of AI is still in a very progressive and very good dynamics. We are facing with more and more investments, not only from pioneers of AI, not only from investors that are used to do some, high risk or medium risk investment, but also from starting to see investments from big companies like Nvidia. Of course, Nvidia can come also not only with money, they can come with technology, they can come with systems, they can come with GPU. It's a very interesting thing that they are doing. To be honest, I still don't have a clear understanding till the end why they need this. Igor, maybe you can open a little bit, the shadows in the light and the shadows, and to tell us why they need this, why you think Nvidia needs this investment.
I think it's absolutely clear because for the companies like Revolut and other fintech startups, it will provide an access to the hardware. Because when we tend to think about the AI, one part is actually to use the model. When you have a specific model, I don't know, let's assume that it's finding the cat on the picture. And when we have this model embedded into our phone or even into the operating system, it's easy. Like we're just finding the cats. But the most resource taking process is actually to train the model, and you're giving millions and millions of the images with the cat, and then you're giving a million of the images without the cat. And this process takes a lot of resources and requires the specific hardware. Nvidia is leading in this market, and I think that's a really made in heaven collaboration, because those companies, they have large chunks of the information which can be used for the training, and then the Nvidia is providing the hardware which enabling that. And I will be a little bit maybe backslash into the recent Meta presentation of the glasses. When we tend to think that everything works fine, and when you ask an assistant for certain information, it works flawlessly. No, we are not even there yet. We're just facing the first launches of those products. And this collaboration, in my understanding, will help to shape up the financial industry with the proper models and then proper models usage in our devices or customer application.
I think beside this, beside technological part, I think Nvidia just want to put an accent, a big accent on United Kingdom's role as a country in development of AI. And choosing Revolut or NScale, for example, which is also in the list of startups or companies with whom Nvidia will work, plus everything what NScale and Revolut did in AI, this synergy is basically showing and proving the fact that United Kingdom can be a very strong leader in.
Yeah, and not just about AI. Like think about the scale, 65 million customers in Revolut, and they bring in, if I'm not mistaken, 1 million customers in 10 business days. It means that every 10 business days, Revolut is having for 1 million customers more information, which makes easier to train and develop new business cases using AI and the power computation from NVIDIA. And it brings us or bridges to the second use, which is from European Union. We have the legislation which is allowing open finance industry, and European Union made a deliberate decision to not include big techs like Apple, Google, and Meta, and not allowing them to use their financial data sharing. Is it some kind of socialism, or what is this move from European Union?
Well, for those in America, North America, it can look like a socialism. Well, currently it's a very fancy word, European socialism, to use everywhere around in American politics. But this is just the facade. In reality, European Union understood specifically that financial data of European customers is a very big value, a very big asset. Europe invested huge amount of money, time, resources, debates, hours and hours of debates in parliament, in national parliaments, in European parliaments and councils, for create very, very well established legal frameworks that allows financial data to circulate inside the European Union, easy transactions, allow SEPA to function as, like start to be like not only instant payment, but something like super obvious and natural around the European Union, and opening the market and give the same. So officially the idea is that they will not give the same rules for big tech as for medium or small companies in financial, because they are like officially calling that big companies like you mentioned, Apple, Meta, they have, or Google, they have competitive, but I think it's mostly because they don't want so much American companies to enter here, because the dominance of Apple, Google, and Meta, in case if they enter under the same rules, will be just devastating for European companies. Some will resist, some will succeed even, but the majority can disappear. Apple, Google, Meta, mostly Apple, with their financial products, they had success in the United States because the market was a little bit different. The needs were different than the European Union. They tested a lot of things there. And if they will come into Europe, it can reshape totally. And I understand from one side, I understand the European legislators why they choose this path, even if it sounds a little bit like European socialism. But from your perspective, Igor, do you think this is a smart move or this is some kind of a political bargain?
I think it's a smart move because data new oil. One way is to provide those big tech to play on the market, but another one to feed for free with the data, which will allow to impact and drive the social weather, let's say like that. Because we've seen the situation with the Meta and with the Brexit process, and it was driven because Meta allowed the specific activities as advertisement and collecting private information, which were then impacting the social perception. And I would say it's a good move. We are living in the post-truth world when people can say a lot, and then you have to deal with the post results, trying to even explain something which might be obvious. So I think by not feeding and providing the financial data is a really good move. And especially if we're thinking about the age of AI, the age of data analytics, and by not allowing the data, it's okay. Just think about the same process in China. Even think about Google, Meta, or Apple trying to get the government China data from their service. It will not happen in any way. The same is happening in European Union, and I think it's justified.
So I think besides everything what we mentioned, I think this is about consolidation of European market as European financial market as one single unit. I think consolidation right now will be the trend in European financial market. And by the way, if we are speaking about consolidations, we can, raise the third news is about the consolidation of Klarna. Maybe some of you observed that the last episodes, we were tracking Klarna's track and path into IPO. So they passed the IPO, they have a good evaluation. And right now, the chairman of Klarna just made an announcement that woke up everyone inside the company and also the investors. He basically said, listen, guys, we are 10 years behind Revolut. We have to achieve, to work hard and to achieve great results. So some kind of, a very motivating transition from IPO to post-IPO period. What do you think about this?
I think it shows that right now we see the competition of the technology companies, which have the financial industry as their business model. And by the communication from chairman, it's not competition to banks. It's not competition to, I don't know, financial business models. They compare in one of the most heavy SAC and heavy advanced company. And I think it's about being efficient and having an ability to produce digital products as a scalability, because think about Revolut as the unique cloud provider, because they have an ability to expand to new regions really quickly. It doesn't take years as for usual banks, because I don't know, if you will approach the IT department and will say, okay, now as a bank, we're running in country A, we would like to extend to country B, the IT department of the bank will say, okay, we need years or months at least for extending the infrastructure, updating technical process. And Revolut is doing this relatively in weeks. And that's kind of the message. We need to be really efficient with the technology and scalability, that we are not silencing the business around the specific regions. We have an ability to expand globally, to adapt to the regulation, to do the business online. frequentless, and really, really up to date for the customer needs. That's something that I put as a key values for their digital products.
What was the evaluation during the IPO?
I don't have the numbers. I know that they raised actually the 1.4 billions as additional money, but let me take a look. I think
I
it
think it
was
was something around 14 or 15, if I'm
yeah,
not wrong.
yeah. At the peak, yeah, at the peak, it was around 40 billions, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely is lower than it has been during the COVID times, but it's still a significant number for the institution that has been born not more than 15 years ago and is playing on really competitive market within the banks coming from the Nordics and coming as a bank right now because Klarna has successfully got their banking license and they basically playing with the buy now pay later product as an initial one, but they extend it to other financial industries, which is really a really good number if you think about like the red market which they operate in.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about their evaluation and how money they raised because basically they had a victory during the IPO. So even if they had a victory during the IPO, they took a very hard decision, a logical one, showing an example to everyone that, well, we had a victory, but we need to move further. We need to raise. We need to make big steps to achieve what we want to achieve. It's like, the chairman Martin Moritz, he specifically showed an example to everyone in financial world, or not even for all people around the business, that IPO doesn't mean it's the end line. Exist strategy roadmaps after the IPO, because seems like in their heads, maybe in Martin's head, or those who are in the board, they have a very big plan for achieving better results in years, and I think they will turn out those difference in 10 years and something like a difference of 3 years, like in next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's true. And it shows that it's just the new chapter in the storybook of Klarna. So let's read together. And I would like you to welcome to visit us on Cybus because as a FinTech Garden, next week we're taking the part at Cybus. And I and myself and Dumitru, we're going to be there. So please say hi to us. We're going to record the interviews. And as usual, in the end of the week, we're going to release the episode and the harvest. So please stay tuned, join us, follow our channels, and let's see you next week.
Yeah, see you at Cybers and have a nice weekend. Bye bye.